Hello guys, and welcome to another exciting video on this channel. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a stylistic illustration in Affinity Designer. Now this illustration will mainly be based on vector art, so you can scale it up after you create and resize it for different your needs. In addition to that, we will also apply some of the pixel based effects on it to give it more organic look, to move away from that sharp look of that vector has. So without any further delay, let's get into it. Before I move forward, I would like to talk about this channel. If you want to skip this part, you can skip to this timestamp, but I would really appreciate if you can please listen to this part. Now this channel has about 99 videos including this video, and there are different topics, and most of them deal with earning a living online through design and graphic design work. But this channel is not monetized, as you can see here that I have only 181 subscriber and 448 public watch hours, which means that I have not reached the threshold at which Google will allow me to monetize these videos. So it means that there is literally zero incentive for me making these videos, and as you can guess, it takes time to create videos and edit them and to create all this content. Now 87.8% of the viewers on this channel are actually not subscribed, so I would really appreciate if you people please subscribe to this channel to show your support. So this is the request and appeal to all the viewers of this channel. Now if you have listened this message, thank you, and let's get back to the tutorial. So I have Affinity Designer open, and I have do this rough sketch of the illustration that I'm going to finalize in this tutorial or this video. And you can draw this sketch on paper and then bring it into your computer, and also you can draw it inside this Affinity Designer. On the left hand side you can see that I am currently in the designer persona, but if towards the right there is a pixel persona. So if you go to the pixel persona, and let's hide this layer for a moment and create a new pixel layer by clicking on this pixel layer icon, add pixel layer. So you create a new pixel layer, and you can use the brush tool, select the color that you want, and I have this stylistic brush selected, but you can go to the brushes and select the basic brush and use any of the basic brush, and then start drawing sketching your thing. So once your sketch is done, you can go back to this designer persona and start working on it. Let's unhide this pixel layer that I have created. So this is what we are working, and you can clearly see that it is not a perfect sketch. This is some random lines that I just drew, and I'm not really a good at drawing things. So anyway, let's start making it converting it into a vector graphics. So I will use this pen tool, and I'll start by, if you are going to zoom in and out, you can press the control or command and then the mouse wheel, and this is going to be very easy. Another thing that I would like to bring a notice to your attention is that at the top the mode that I have selected is this pen mode, and that this first selection that I have chosen, which means that there will be smooth handles, there will be no you can say corners, or also you can use smart mode, but I prefer to use this smooth mode, or if I'm drawing perfect lines, I'm going to use polygon mode. For this video, for this purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to use this mode. So now you can see the handle is going away here, and if I pressed Alt, I can bring back change the direction of the handle and then start drawing. So you can see it's so simple illustration, but some of the lines are not really perfect, but we can modify the lines once we are finish the basic shapes. And in order to modify the handles, you can go to this node tool, or you can use the shortcut A, and you can change it position of the nodes, make it more smooth looking. Another thing that you might notice, I have the stroke color blacks, and the sketch is also black, so it's not really a best thing to do, so I can change the stroke color to red color, and in this way I'll be able to see what is happening. Let's select the curve and let's choose I think I should increase this stroke width so that I can clearly see what it is, what am I doing. So I've changed the stroke width. For the final illustration I will not be using any strokes, but for the purpose of just drawing the basic shapes, I might just use this stroke. So I have adjusted this curve shape, and let's draw other lines. Let's draw the back ear, and close it. Another thing that you might notice is that if you are drawing a curve and if you are going to close it, and sometimes it messes the whole shape if you click on the initial point that you have just put on the canvas. But if you press the alt key or the option key and then close the curve, your shape will keep its shape. Actually your curve will keep its shape. So anyway, this is the basic shape. Let's draw this tail. Remember, this is not a perfect, this doesn't have to be perfect, because this is an idealistic, or you can say a stylistic illustration. It doesn't have to be really perfect, and we can modify each and everything once we are finished with the drawing. So let's draw this white area. Okay, and let's close it, and let's draw this white area on its tail. We are going to clip these, and or you can say intersect these extra white areas that I have drawn, except these curves, and confine it to the basic shape. Let's hide this pixel layer for a moment. So this is our main fox shape, and we can name it as fox body. Let's name it back ear, and let's name this one as tail, and let's body white, and then let's name this one as tail white. This helps to keep track of these things when you have a lot of layers. So before I can go move forward, let's try to color these, and then try to make sense of the shapes what they are looking. So I'll select this body, and I don't want any kind of stroke, so I'll just select none for the stroke, and for the fill area I'm going to use a gradient. So I'll select this gradient, and I'll use this white in as change it into a slightly orangish yellowish thin color like this one, and change this black area to a darker shade of orange. Maybe make this one a bit more yellow. Yeah, I think that's fine. And now let's change the direction of this gradient by selecting this fill tool, and then let's change it to, I think I should change it to like this. I think that's fine. We bring it closer here. Yeah, that looks better. Let's select the tail and let's color it. Now if I want to choose the same color for the tail, what I can do is that let's just cancel this color, and let's go to the fill. So on the recent swatches, the recent color that you have selected, it will be shown here, and you can select this color, and your object or the shape will be filled with recent color that you have just selected. And you can see that there is slightly a misplacement of the tail, so we can just adjust the tail position and then adjust the nodes. Remember, if you want to perfectly match with the borders or edges of your another shape, you can select, you should have this option enable snapping on, because in this way you will not be able to mess your shapes. So let's adjust the shape of this tail to make it more good looking. Let's hide these curves for a moment. I think that looks better. So I have this back ear, so I'll select the back ear and let's close, let's change the color, and I'm going to use the same gradient for the back ear, but as this ear is at the back of this main body, let's bring it back. So I brought it back to the main body, and as this is at the back, we can modify its darker color to make it more darker, and also change the lighter color to reflect the same thing, a bit darker area, just a little bit, to give it a dimension. So this is looking, I think it's looking pretty good. Let's bring the white colors to the main body. So this is the white, going to be white color, so let's select the color, and instead of using the already created swatches, I'm going to use this color selection, and then I'm going to change it to white. I might change it to another color later on, but for the moment let's just choose this one. So this is the main white body. We need to confine it to the main shape of the you can say this main fox body. And one thing we can do is that either we can make it a child of the fox main body, and in this way it will be like this. So let's as you might not be able to see because it is white, let's select rectangle tool, and let's create a background layer. So I have created this background layer and I brought it towards the back and change its color to maybe black, and now you can see that it is now this white area is confined to the main body, and this is helpful when you are want to change it later on, or you want to make it little modifications, because you will be able to see it inside, confined it inside the body, and it is easy to make these changes. I think that's fine. And also let's change this fox white color as well, and before I do that I should make it a child of this tail, and then I'm going to select the curve, remove the stroke, and then change this color to the white, and it is present in the recent colors that I have selected. I think that looks okay. If I want to change the shape of the tail, I might change this shape a little bit more, and this is the benefit of making the other inside colors as a child of the main thing, is that once you are unsatisfied and there is something wrong with the curve shapes, you can change the nodes or the points, vertices of the any shape, and your child or your inside color will remain the same. You will not have to mess it around. Okay, you do not have to change it. I think that's fine, and this is looking better. And let's create a black eye. I think this one small circle would be enough. I think that's fine, and let's change it to black color, and let's create an ear inside this one, inside of that ear. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it can be any stylistic thing. And so I have created this ear, and now it's time to color it. And I think I'll use a gradient, and but slightly lighter color gradient, so maybe white and then a yellow, light yellow thing. I think that would look better. Maybe change this white to slightly yellowish. I think this looks fine. Maybe, we'll just keep it white, not slightly yellowish. I think that looks better. Now it's time to create the nose, and let's hide this background layer, and let's create a nose using the same pen tool. Just a random circular shape would be enough. Okay, that's it, and let's duplicate this layer, or we can do is that bring this nose inside this, make it a child of the main body, and then it will be confined to the body of the main fox, and in this way we will not have to change it. I think that looks fine, and I can either select all of these layers of this fox layer and group them together by right clicking and then selecting this group option, or Control G. Hide this layer. Let's click the background elements. So background elements can animate anything. I just have to some leaves and just random leaves. It doesn't have to be perfect to the sketch that I have just drawn. Just some random leaves, and I might change these later on, change the shape or something like that. So these are the basic shapes of the leaves. Let's bring back that black background and the fox layer. Let's select all of these leaves and give them a color, and let's use a white color for the moment because I'm going to change it for all of them one by one. Let's bring them back of this behind the fox layer. So we can select this leaf one by one and then modify the colors as we like. I think I would like to see it maybe slightly darker shade of this greenish, maybe something like maybe slightly bluish thing, and select this second leaf and maybe change its color to slightly yellowish. It totally depends upon how would you like to see your illustration, and maybe this one I will change it to maybe greenish, give it a greenish look. Green doesn't looks good, maybe I'll change it to maybe slightly this one. I think that will look better. Now it's time to change the shapes and maybe add more elements to the leaves, give them slightly more kind of leafy look. Let's bring it behind this green layer. Okay, that looks better. Maybe change this leaf slightly, make it in a different direction, different shape. I think that looks fine, and now let's give them some kind of organic shape, organic look, and maybe some cuts here. If I have this layers selected and then the leaf I'm going to select, and then I'm going to subtract the front layer to give it some kind of organic look. Maybe use the same kind of effect or same kind of cuttings on this. Let's create some kind of main inside those veins inside these leaves, just some random thing. I have selected this corner. Let's select the smooth tool. So this is just random stuff. To give it more organic. This is you can say this is kind of finishing up the whole thing. And let's select the color, the same color, and then make it slightly darker. And we can do the same thing here. In the leaves, give them slightly a curve shape. This one, select the color that we of the leaf and then changing it, maybe making it darker. I think that looks better. Changing the color of the third leaf, this red leaf, and then creating the same inside vein. Selecting the color for the vein. I think we can use this color picker tool and select this color as well. So, and also once again we're going to make it darker. I think that looks better, much better. Maybe we'll adjust the position of the fork slightly. I think that's fine. And this is looking pretty good. Let's add an additional element here and on this white area of the fox. So this is the white area of the fox. Let's add some, give it more those hairy fur like stuff so that it doesn't look so sharp, and change its color to white as well. I think this is looking pretty good now. Another thing we can do is to give it more organic look. Let's maybe make some kind of floral element, or you can say a plant based element on the front as well. I don't know how it would look, but we can try it, just to have some. It will hide the tail, but we can delete it if we don't want it. Let's change the color and maybe make it bigger. Let's create some kind of those vein like things here as well. So like this one, maybe this one, and then this one in a corner, and maybe in vein like or substance here as well. You can select all of these veins, use the color picker and select this color, and then change or you can say make it them a little bit darker. Okay, let's copy this one. We can create Control C and Control V. It will create a copy, and we can flip it horizontal to change its position maybe. I think that looks okay. So I'll select this one, create a group, and maybe just in order to give it an organic look, maybe create a copy of this one, Control C and Control V, like this one, bring it behind this main, and maybe change the color of this one as well, slightly change it to, why not select the color from this area, and select this one, and then again select the color of this vein that we created. Let's create a copy of this one and bring it above the leaves behind the fox. Let's change the color as well. Okay, that's it for now, but it is looking slightly flat. So what I'm going to do is that, uh, give it some kind of organic look, using that, give it some kind of texture feel. So I'm going to go to this pixel persona, and inside this pixel persona I'm going to select a different brush type, not the basic brush types. I'm going to use sprays and spatters. So I'll use this airbrush, airbrush for 128 pixel, whatever that is, and I'm going to use the brush tool and increase the brush size a bit. So let's give it some organic look to the leaves behind it. So I have selected this leaf. So let's paint and choose the color. Let's slightly make it darker color, and after choosing the color, let's paint it. I don't want any kind of hardness here. Flow is okay, opacity is okay, and that should be fine. Okay, now that I have painted it, I need to change the blend mode of this layer, and this layer will be inside this main vector shape layer, and that over which you are actually painting. So I'll select this layer and then change it to multiply to give it a darker kind of look. Again, let's change this slightly this aqua kind of leaf, and you don't have to create any new pixel layer. Once you select this layer and start painting with this brush tool, it will automatically create this you can say clipping mask, and you will get this assistance option that they are telling you basically that they are creating this for you. You don't have to worry about it, and you will that pixel layer will automatically be selected. And I can change it to pixel colors, and let's select this yellowish and give it some kind of organic feel as well. Again, the pixel layer is selected. I'm going to change it to multiply, and you don't have to keep it 100%. You can decrease the opacity to make the effect less prominent, and you can change the color as well, but I'll like to keep the color consistent for the brushes. I'll just change the opacity once needed. Let's change let's paint over this one as well. Same is the case with the fox body. We can you can say that apply some kind of texture look to the main body as well, and for that we have to go within the group and select the body that we want to, over which we want to create the texture. So I have this fox body layer. I might decrease the this brush size and then start painting over this area, and then choose the multiply option. And once the multiply option is selected, let's decrease the opacity as well. Another thing, now if we want to create a different layer, I want to lighten up on this side of this fox body, I have to create a new pixel layer first. So once the new pixel layer is created, I can select the same brush tool, maybe change the color. Actually, I will maybe change the color to make it slightly okay. I might use the same color, but you can change the color as well. I will select this pixel brush layer and slightly painting over this side of this fox body. And for this purpose, instead of going to create that, I am going to use this screen option, and screen option is going to lighten this area, and I can decrease the opacity as well. Okay, let's use the same effect on the tail as well. So I have used using the same brush tool, maybe increasing the size. I'm going to paint over this side and then changing the option to multiply. Multiply is going to darken your brush strokes or your layer, and maybe you change the opacity as well. So I think our illustration is done. I might hide this layer, this slightly curve that is sticking out from behind that. I'm going to, for that purpose I have to go to this design persona, and inside that design persona I'm going to select the node tool and change its position. So you can see that our illustration has an organic look to it, in addition to the perfect vector shapes that we have created. And you can use the same brush tool effect on these bush elements, these flora type of elements, and you can change the opacity of any layer, any brush layer. For that purpose I think you can do the same, changing the opacity within this designer persona. You don't have to go inside that pixel persona, select this layer, maybe change the opacity a little bit more, to give it a very subtle look. I think that looks fine, and for me it is final now, and I can export it, and but before I export it I have to check this background option, so that the black background is not located. Now you see a white background. In order to remove that white background, go to the document setup, and in this color option select the transparent background. Now once the transparent background is selected, you can export it as a PNG image and apply it to any print on demand product that you want. So you see that how easy it is to create a stylistic vector illustration inside Affinity Designer, and this is a powerful software. And in addition to that vector shapes or vector graphics, you can apply some kind of the brush effects that I have shown you, the pixel based brush effects, to give them an organic look. And this design is totally 100% scalable, because it is a vector graphic, and you can scale it up for different sizes that you might require. Now the pixel based layer, those brush layers might get some kind of a little bit blurry because they are not vector layers. So I would suggest that you should create your initial drawing or the initial illustration in the main you can say the maximum size of the document that you require, so that you don't have to scale it up beyond the limits where everything not everything but those brush strokes start to look bad. So hopefully you have found this video and this tutorial to be useful. And you see that initially I had this sketch that was not really a great sketch. It was just some random line. You don't have to be really good at drawing. You can modify these vector shapes and make it look good. And if you have found this video to be helpful and useful, make sure that you like the video. And if you have already liked the video, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified about my future videos as well. And thank you for watching.